I'm sorry that I haven't been on in a little bit. Um, I keep trying, but sometimes life's interruptions are just quite a bit. Um, Hang on just a second. Um, so I just wanted to pop on this morning. Um, Say hello. We're moving towards Christmas. I mean, I meant to open my Orafill calendar with you guys, and all of a sudden, last night I realized, dang, I missed the first 10 days. you know. But one thing I wanted to do before I get going too far, um, I better set this up so if somebody does happen to pop in and comment, um, I can see the comments. But one thing I wanted to do before I get going too far. Morning, Cheryl. How are you this morning? Let me turn the volume up. Let me turn the volume down over here. Turn the volume up over here. So that, because sometimes it doesn't pick up real well. Um, I been missing you too, Cheryl. Just got busy, and then it's like kind of crazy. I set aside time to do a tutorial or something like that, and I'd have a interruption. Morning, Kathy. How are you this morning? But before I get started, I want to read something to you. This is my own, so there's no copyright worries about it. It was written in early '88, and it's just kind of been on my heart, and I dug out a copy. Thank you, Cheryl. And So I just thought I would share it with you. I was working, um, doing a preschool ministry as an assistant and running a kitchen, and the lady that was a friend and one of my roommates, she said, "Can you write something about God's love?" And I said, "Well, I don't typically pick the subject." About 2 o'clock in the morning, an idea popped in my head, and I grabbed a pen, and basically it stayed that way. So anyway, this is called Unfailing Love. Love of a different kind. A love exudes life, for it is alive and vibrant, full of hope, comfort, healing, forgiveness, strength, power, newness, innocence, wisdom, and truth, because it has also experienced the ultimate brokenness and pain, betrayal, sorrow, and suffering, not running yet facing reality, as it endured the cruelest test of all times at the hands of mankind, being poured out as an offering for us on a cross, stripped of all dignity, dealt with maliciously, accused of all wrong when it never knew any wrong, it rose to the challenge, pouring out forgiveness, only to be buried in hopes that it would be extinguished forever. Yet in brokenness and obedience, it found the strength and power to overcome, for on the third day rose again, and triumph with the hope that we would one day come to embrace it, in a life changing encounter, being overwhelmed by the truth that it is unfailing, that this love from Him who is love will endure forever, for it is unconquerable, never had a beginning and will never have an end. It has never and will never be interrupted, no matter what it has done to it or us, no matter what choices we make, right or wrong. For it is everlasting. It never sleeps nor slumbers, yet ever flows from His heart, pouring forth from the throne room of grace. Every second of every minute of every hour of every day, of every week of every year, in unfailing, unfaltering consistency. For it is as faithful as the sun which rises and sets each day, and as consistent and constant as our heartbeat and our need for every breath. It is outstretched to you right now, excuse me, with abundant generosity and grace, a free gift with no strings attached. For without it, you and I will surely die. We who are equipped to love and be loved will shrivel up like an untended flower in the heat of the day if we never learn to turn to Him who is love and simply receive this precious and priceless gift, the gift of life, Jesus Christ, poured out in unfailing love. Um, and I guess that kind of dovetails with the season we're in, whether or not it's a historically accurate time representation. Um, that was written early 88, and in August of 93, the scripture, for God so loved his only begotten Son, for God the world, he gave his only begotten to perish. That's one of the first scriptures I learned as a child, but it hit me in August of 93 that the reason he chose was love. He could have chosen 10,000 reasons or a combination of reasons. And he boiled it down to one thing, love. And his love is everlasting, which in the 18, I think it is 58 Webster's, everlasting is beautifully defined as having no beginning, no middle, no end. It's never and it's never something that's never experienced an interruption in time. It's eternal. It's steadfast. It's constant. So anyway, I'm not sure who that's for this morning, but I just thought I would toss that out before I kind of get in, um, and just um, do some puttering. Um, Morning, Patricia. Um, I love you too. Um, because I think one of the big threes is if as I think about it, one of the big three is if God is such a love, is there suffering in the world? And the thing is that was never his choice. But he did give us choice because he didn't want robots. He wanted relationship. And from the beginning, he had a plan if the choice was made to not listen to him and not follow him and not stay with a Garden of Eden plan. Um, he didn't banish them from the garden out of anger. He banished them out of love. He put the angels up with the flaming swords to keep them out of out of pure mercy and grace and abundant love, because he knew the tree of life, which was not restricted, was in the garden. And if they had eaten of that, they would have lived in sin and decay and brokenness forever. And that wasn't his heart. Um, Johnny Erickson Tada says, um, and I'll probably garble the translation at this hour of the morning, but she often says that um, God allows that which breaks his heart to accomplish what he loves. Nothing goes to waste with him. That's why he says that everything that is meant for evil, he will turn for good. But we have to look for it because it's easy to miss it. We were talking in Renegades recently about, and I think I was talking to a couple people about what I call micro blessings. How often in the day we miss the abundant amount of what I call micro blessings that God puts in the day that I think are part of his allotment of mercy for that day, because the Bible says his mercy is new every morning. And he gives us just enough for that day and he refreshes it. And some days it seems to run thin. But so often we're looking for the big breakthroughs, the big revelations, the big, aerial fireworks that go, and we miss all those little, like, they have these things in fireworks called snap pops that you throw on the ground and they go pop and they kind of startle you. But in the noise of what's going on, we often miss the little things like a beautiful sunrise, sunset, a child's laughter, a child's innocent questioning, an encounter with a friend, a message of encouragement or support, a beautiful flower, a rainbow. Um, so many things that he sends along the way. Um, but if we start looking for those things, then it becomes habit and you catch more and more of them. So anyway, that's my little that's part of my meandering for this morning. Morning, Nan. It's really good to see you. And something else I want, on a whole nother vein, I know some of y'all have been waiting for some tutorials. Um, it's kind of been a crazy season. One is it not in my life, and one in particular is the angels. And I know that anything that I make will never be perfect as much as I would like it to be. And I know that as a creator, and most of us are, whether or not it's sewing, quilting, woodworking, whatever, baking, we want it to be perfect, and it will never be because it's handmade, it's homemade. But we end up being often more critical of our own work. But I also know that when I make a tutorial, I I would like to include as much tips and tricks and information as I can because like there's three areas I really got stumped on the angels innocently to kind of come up with a possible solution. Now, when you make them, you may find a better, easier solution. Um, and that's great. But the tutorial I watched on Shabby Fabrics, fantastic tutorial. But there were two or three things that caused me roadblocks, and I had to figure out. Well, I'd prefer to kind of try and figure those things out to help y'all at least have an idea and a direction. So that's why it's taken a while for that. Some of the others, it's just because there's distractions in life and gets busy. A lot of unexpected things happen in my life. Plus, I'm a caregiver for my adopted chosen sister whom I live with. She's 10 years older. She has a neurological disorder. Um, so there's good days, there's bad days. And there's no cure. It's gonna just kind of go like this and then finally go like that. So, and I try and help my brother with his medical issues because he's a little thick being a man. So, you know, or like Friday, I'm working on the angels thinking maybe Saturday, Sunday, I'll get a tutorial out and I have a bunch done, and the water stops working. We just had a trickle in the house. Well, then I had to thunk on that, and Saturday try and figure some things out, and then Monday was spent waiting for the plumber, and he came, and then I spent 4 hours looking for the simple part that was needed, and I finally got it yesterday afternoon before I went to my foot doctor. All that takes time, and in the midst of it, my sister and other things. So, well, it's nice to see people in chat. So, what we're gonna do, I'm not gonna do a separate video. We're gonna go ahead and catch up on the Arfield thread calendar because I did as Auntie Patricia suggested that I do, and put it up here to be patient and wait in November, and then boop, so here it is. It's really nice. One thing I'm gonna try and fix this a little bit so you can see better. Um, one thing, this is their first year. I won this. Very big blessing. I know that a lot of you know that. Um, so this is their inaugural calendar. So who knows next year if they'll, because I know one thing that somebody hang on a minute. I want to cover this QR code. One thing somebody said on another on Carolina Moore's, she's opening this ridiculous amount of advent calendars, and it's kind of fun. But I mean, she just went a little cray cray and just got like 19 different advent calendars. And most of them are crafty or sewing, but there's some that are chocolate and some that are tea. And has been opening them, and she picked up one of these. And one thing somebody said was, well, they should have covered the boxes better in order for you to be more surprised at what was in each box. Because you can kind of get a peek, a little tiny peek up here. And that's basically the peek you're getting is that the weight of the thread. Well, it was the first box. So, let's catch up with this. It's very nice. I mean, the box is beautiful. On the back, it has talks about the weights and how they describe it on the spool. It tells you about what you can do with the different weights. Now, I basically have used pretty much 50 weight or 40 weight, but this to me is really nice because I can try different things. And down here, I kind of have, what you can do with, because they have floss, 8 weight, 12 weight, 28 weight, 40 weight, 50 weight, 80 weight, and it of what those weights will help. I should hastily put on purple piece of paper is a little QR code that gives you some bonus things, projects, and information. Um, so, without further ado, good morning, Joe. How are you this morning? So, day one, we have a wooden spool, and I think I'm just going to turn this around, pull the doors out. You're falling it. It's a wooden spool. I think this is, I want to say this is, doesn't say. This may be 8 weight. So that's day one, and it's nice and red. It's a beautiful red color. Oh, pastry queen's on. So I guess I'm gonna have to pop off here pretty soon. Let's see what day two. Look at that nice, beautiful gold spool. Now that's 50 weight. The famous red 50 weight. Now some of these colors, I'm trying to block the light because it's in the plastic. Some of these colors, they were created just for this calendar. You can't just go, maybe eventually, but they were created with this calendar. Then we have little Puka Day 3, and it's a gray, so that's 28 weight, I believe. And it's a nice blue. It's kind of a gray blue. The other thing that's nice is they color the spool. They make the spools unique so that you can look at them, and if you know your color coding, so day 4, is a different blue. See the difference? It's almost a purple blue, and this is a 40 weight. Pretty sure that the green is 40 weight. Yeah, 40. Some of these I can decipher from the bottom, and some of them I can't. This looks like it says it's a 28 weight. 40 weight's green, 50 weight I know is red. Let's see what we got for day 5. So, day 5. We have a rose color, a dusk. I know the light's not helping this, but it's a dusty rose. And it's the 50 weight. That can't be right. I will look that up. I will look up a color chart. And 6 is another wooden spool. I like these little wooden spools. And it's a green, a forest green. 6. We got 4 more days. Then we'll be caught up, and then maybe I can stay caught up. Day 7. This is really thick, and it doesn't say floss on it. So this must be 8 weight. White, nice white, like 8 weight. Number 8. Drum roll. Thank you, Nan. I was so excited when I won this on the 2nd of July because I don't usually win very many things. I root for myself. And they came up and said that they were putting out the calendar for the first time. And then they came out with the contest where they were going to award somebody. And when they notified me a few days, 3 or 4 days later, I was like, "Are you for real?" And they said it'd be out in November. And I love advent calendars. And I knew I couldn't be able to get it because it was out of my price range. But number 8, we have a green, and it must be an 8 weight too, but it's a pretty green. Oh no, falling art filled thread. But some of these will be fun to just kind of play with. I know some is for hand, some works well with embroidery. Number 9, we got a green spool, and it is a it's if it's a well, I'm trying to figure out what color you would call this. It's a yellow, but okay, it's a golden yellow, kind of a dark golden yellow. And this is green, so this should be 40 weight. So we've got 250 weight, 240 weight, and see, this is a darker wooden spool. This is a natural colored wooden spool, and then we have two wooden spools that are white. So we got one more day here. My little boxes back. I want to use this for something because even if you take the boxes out, look, you got little nice little pukas you can put something in, and it's got a little like magnetic door. They did a really nice job for their first run. Okay, number 10. This is a gray blue, and it's a 50 weight. Well, Cheryl, you have a wonderful day. Please enjoy your grandson. Family time is most important. Yeah, it'll be here. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. Loves you, Cheryl. So that's number 10. And we're all caught up. We have another 14 days because there's 24 in this calendar. But it's very nice. Color, number, dialogue, number, weight. Okay, so this says here that on the label under the, well, that doesn't work. Okay, down here at the bottom it says Mako, and it says normally it has weight implied. So this is a 50. Let's see if that we can figure out what this one is. 8. Okay, so the white spools seem to be an 8, which is good for hand embroidery and cross stitch, hand embellishment and decorative stitching, quilting, and fiber art. And this one is floss. So this is floss, which is 6-strand hand embroidery, cross stitch, hand embellishment, hand quilting, and so this is good. I'm wanting to try some sashiko. I'm probably butchering it and saying it wrong. So then we have this natural spool, which is 80 weight, and that's applique, English paper piecing, machine embroidery, machine quilting, and fiber art. So this for kind of a deep forest green should be 80. So, and then this of course would be 50 weight, the dusty rose. And this is kind of a pretty dusty rose. I don't think I have something like that. And of course this is 40 weight because it's, how can this be? This is 50 weight. Yeah. The red is the orangish color. It's orange is 50. Green is 40. Gray is 28 weight. What is 28 weight? Quilting, fiber art, embroidery, embellishment, bag and garment sewing, and applique. And the red is, see, this says 12. And 12 would be embroidery, cross stitch, embellishment, decorative stitching, quilting, fiber art, and applique. So red would be 12, orange would be 50, green's 40, and I use mostly 40 and 50. And then we have another white here, which is the 8 weight, which is the hand embroidery, hand embellishment, and decorative stitching. Because it's the lower, it's odd because 80 weight is thinner than 8 weight. As you go down, your thread gets thicker. As you go up, it gets thinner. And I don't think we've gotten any 80 weight yet. I think we've gotten a good representation of most things. And I'm learning how to try and read the bottom of these. And we even got a floss, which is good for the sashiko. Oh, this is 80. Okay. I was wrong. This is 80. And this is good for hand applique, English paper piecing, machine embroidery, quilting, fiber art. So, nice little selection of Orfel. And we learned something. But right there's, 10 new spools. And Orfel has, 2 years ago when I discovered Orfel and I started using it for cotton thread, it became my favorite. And I have a ton of Gutermann, because when I restarted quilting and sewing and quilting and creating, I basically had to start from nothing, and it was March 2020, the beginning of the damn-demic, and, but Joann's would have these buy 2 spools, get 3 free, and the best thread they had was their quilted Gutermann, and so that's what I started with, and I have this stuff called Floroni, I think that's how you say it, beautiful, beautiful poly, um, embroidery thread. It's great when I'm not doing a, bowl koozie or something that needs all cotton or piecing, and I use that. I typically, like, if I'm top stitching a, key fob lanyard or something like that to give it a little bit of color and flair, or with my embroidery. So, I didn't like sulky. Coats and Clarks is not what I grew up with, and none of my machines have liked it. I have a whole big thing of rayon over here I got from a friend. Um, you know, he was getting rid of his wife's stuff, and she had one of the chests of the. I think you guys have seen it, and I actually dropped it on the floor. It's Madeira, um, which is real fancy kind of embroidery thread. But I tried rayon once, and I didn't have very good luck with it. Um, Bye, Auntie Patricia. I hope you have a really blessed day. I loves you. Thank you for popping in. I think the pastry queen's on, so I don't really want to keep y'all too much longer. I need to do, basically my puttering is, um, I think I got all the top stitching done on these angels, and so now I need to fold them and put the stitching in here, and then I can decide which ones I'm going to make right now and which ones I'm gonna set aside for, like, maybe next year, because I didn't realize that I really got into making and I kinda overdid, which is not atypical because I kept finding combinations I liked, and I wasn't counting, so I was thinking, "I'm just making a couple," so I went over the 25 I thought I would needed, kinda went way over the 25, um, but I think for pulling things out. And I will tell you, this is one of my faves. I got it wrong. This is one of my fave co combinations. Um, just the way it looks. Um, I like I like the gold wings here. It's what I had. I had two or three. I had a couple small remnants and another piece. Um, and then when I ran out, I found this, and I thought, ooh. So if I ever made more again, I would use that. It's the same way with I didn't see it when I was looking for more silver because what I had was two pieces of remnant of this, and normally Joann's carries it, but of course suddenly they've been out, so I found this and it works well. I kind of like this mountainy thing for, but it looks good. This is another favorite, is this combination, because look at the green. It has the silvery snowflakes. I think I like that pet one in the silver better, and it's over on the other table. But I just picked out scraps and different things that I had. Um, and then I realized I didn't have any green, and instead of just doing one green, I ended up doing three different greens to pick from. Because I ended up with this snowflake, and I found some of this, and then the olive green. So anyway, these have come a long way, and like I said, they're all top stitched. So the only seam stitching left is to align it and do the little V here, because you only put it together down here at the bottom. and then you stuff the head in and put a rubber band around it just long enough to hold it for you to fold the wings, and then you put another little rubber band to hold it, and then when you put the ribbon on, it holds the wings and the head in place, and then you have, I think, 6 or 8 little hand stitches. Um, and this is talking about perfection too, because when you get these made, one of the last steps after you tack the wings down is to tuck the wing in so it kind of has this kind of look to it. And I was working on one yesterday and I did the couple stitches on each side. And every I tucked this wing in and this one would pop out. And I tucked this one in and this and I was getting frustrated and I thought, well, forget about it. Well, I went to take it into the lady ordered it, and I found out that she's out right now. And so I went to my foot doctor, and I felt a nudge that this other lady that I had planned on getting something for should have it, and she loved it. She loved it with the pointed wings instead of it tucked in, and I kind of liked it after I stared at it for a while. Um, I kind of thought, "Ooh, that's really pretty." Um, Oh, okay. See, I have a pile. This is all silver and this is all gold. And what I did to make it simple on myself was instead of matching the thread to this or this, I just used gold around the gold wing ones. I had some metallic gold and then some metallic silver on the silver ones to give it bling. Um, and then all I had to do was pop out the bobbin for the backs. Much simpler. Morning, Joseph. It's good to see you. Um, I'm doing all right. Puttering and working on things. But see, when you sew it, you just sew this bottom part here. You top stitch it, and then you end up sewing this little bit here. And then you can, and yes, yes, Debbie, good morning. You are going to get a complete tutorial so you can finish yours. I had to get over some bumps of a couple things that weren't working for me. Because I don't want you to get stumped by a couple of the same things I did. And maybe you wouldn't, I don't know. But one of the things was they have you top stitch these all the way around the square, and then they just want you to go over this bottom tit thing here to hold it together, because then you'll have your pocket. And when I was doing exactly what they said and I was sewing directly on top of the top stitching, the top looked good, but the back looked like crap because the stitching was all over the place and it wasn't even necessarily in line because you couldn't see it. I figured out two methods that work. If you wanted to, if you don't care, you don't care. And you just take it like this that has the top stitching all around, put it together, and follow the top part. Follow the top, sew over the top stitching, and if the bottom looks weird, it looks weird. It bothered me, and so that's one thing I needed to figure out was the best way to get a clean looking section down here. Um, Another was um, tying the bows, and then there was the ribbon. So I figured those out. So we're gonna do that pretty soon. Um, Hopefully, it's just a routine doctor's appointment, Debbie, and that you'll be doing good. Um, I just, I had a thought on my mind, and then I had a tutorial thought. I like to be thorough if I can, and I learn something all the time. That's why I like lives because a lot of times when you do a live, you have the interaction, um, and the thought and the idea, but you can't always do that with tutorials because then they get really long. Um, and so but the water's running. I got home at 7 o'clock last night and changed and grabbed a flashlight and went out and got the part in, and we're back in business there. And I got to go out. I found a really good deal on some polyfill, so I'm gonna go pick it up at 10, 10:30, I think, 10 or 10:30, because I didn't want to spend my whole day running around. Um, but before I kind of got into the day, since I haven't been on as much as I want to be, I thought that I would pop on, say hello. Um, Morning, June. How are you this morning? Um, I miss you guys, and I miss not being on. And then sometimes I go, well, maybe I should just not be on because I haven't gotten my tutorials done. And I know that some of y'all have been very patient with me, and I appreciate that. Um, just time. Um, Debbie, did you see my? I caught up on my R-fill calendar. Did you see my beautiful different weights of R-fill that I'm gonna play with? Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I was thinking about opening it when I got it before Thanksgiving, and Auntie Patricia was like, wait, wait, wait. And I put it up there underneath something and got through Thanksgiving, and my brain went bloop, and every time I thought about it, I kept looking at it, and I wasn't in a place to make a video going, here's door one. So we just did 10 this morning. But I'm glad for the people that have popped in. But I know that the pastry queen's on. So I don't want to take too much from her. Thank you, June. I do appreciate that. You know, I know that I put wandering on here because I do a lot of different things, and I want to include you on some of those adventures, and I'm just figuring that out. But a lot of times when I do a video, it's when I'm getting ready for the day, and I'm getting a few minutes to work on something, or I'm winding down. And so, cooking, of course, when I have time to do that. I want to take you in with me when I do some baking and stuff. So it seems like right now a lot of what I do is my sewing and creating and crafting, but um, there's a whole lot more. Like I said, I mean, I just had to figure out the plumbing, and then I had to fix it. That's just the way it is. And it's good. It's good because my chosen brother is the brawn, and he works real hard to keep a roof over our head. And my chosen sister, who he's married to, you know, she's kind of always kind of been the balance in the middle, and I've been the brains. Um, so, but I'm kind of excited because I've got some new thread, and I've got at least 250 weight and 240 weight to play with. No, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, want to make sure I didn't have anybody roll off the um. hmm, Yeah, I want to make sure I didn't have anybody roll off the desk here, because there's no telling if my children will um, have fun, because they do that. Look, Debbie, this is one of the reasons why they made this is sashiko. That's a shishiko stitching, and I want to do that. Some of that. So thank you, Nancy. I miss you guys when I'm not on, and I'm so glad that God's blessed me with having a channel, and I'm building it up, and having people that love me and are patient enough with my not having, because I kind of got pushed in the deep end. I wasn't expecting it. And God said, "It's time. You've been thinking about it for 2.5 years," so He gave me a push. And it's really nice. I got up for a minute because I was going to show you something, but I may not be able to because I'm not sure where I set them. I've got angels all over the place over here. I thought I put them up here. I got these cute patches because I have a hole in my jeans right where my where in your pocket where you keep your keys. I got this little tiny hole, and I got these cute little gnome patches because I couldn't find the other ones I have, and they should be right over here, but I've had an explosion on my desk. My cutting counter, because that's where I've been putting the rest of the gnome pieces together. So I set them somewhere. I have a picture of them, but they're really cute. I will find them. But I will bring over this pattern here. This is a vintage 1995 pattern that I found. And I got it because I really like this bear right here. And it doesn't look like, there's some others here that are really cute, but I really kind of like this one. This one looks a little weird to me right here, down here in the corner. But it was brand new, uncut. Can you believe that in 95, these things were $9.50, and now they're putting $21 to $30 on a pattern? I wouldn't touch them, but... So, Joe, how are you doing this morning? Do you have a live? What was the last video I saw? I saw a video recently. You were doing Christmas things. My brain's a little tired this morning. It has been raining, which gets all the bones in my, that hip is better since I got the stimulator in. The first month, 5 weeks, it was phenomenal. And then it decided to hate me again. But the rain always causes everything to kind of flare. I broke my nail. Snapped it right off. Just crazy stuff. So, but I was looking for a different vintage pattern, Christmas pattern, and I saw that one with the angel bear, and I thought, oh, I really like that. Sorry, I was gonna get a little farf out from an. I use my hands to walk. So a lot of times I collect farf just from the day. I clean them 2 or 3 times a day. But anyway, I just thought he was adorable. And I have a friend who loves kind of angel type things. This is kind of cute, but they're pretty simple. That's yeah, that kind of there's a different kind of angel bear up here, and then there's these stockings that kind of have them. But that's pretty cool. Yes, June, I am. I am, and so in that sense, it helped. We just haven't figured out why the stimulator is not working as good as it was for the first 5, 6 weeks after we turned it on. Like when I took that trip to Chattanooga, and that was the first time in 25 years I had been able to do something like that. And it was such, I guess, in a way, redemption because, all the things since 2018, working on my health, doing the 9 surgeries that all came together to give me that quality of life back for a season. And that's the whole thing. I won't do a surgery or a fix or a procedure unless it has a good the benefits outweigh the risks. So the benefits seem to outweigh and point to that it will improve the quality of my life, help preserve my mobility and or reduce pain. Um, so and I've had successful failures like this partial hip replacement when they finally got to it in mid-August 2022. But hi Mary, how you doing this morning? It's good to see you. I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting ready for the day. I've got a stack of angels over here. Um, they're going. I ain't got no body, 'cause I've got heads in them, but I have to fold the wings and do the put the ribbons on. Um, but I was stumped about how to get the bows made. I'm sure that there's many of you that have no problem whatsoever with bows. Well, not me. Bows were, I don't know why. I can tie my shoes fine, but when I was trying to tie the bows, I was just having a really hard time to get the ribbon looking nice. I had that same trouble with my thicker DMC floss when I make the quilted pocket prayer hearts. Patchwork quilted patchwork pocket prayer hearts is what they're called. Getting the bow. But duh, I don't know why didn't think about it. I went on and did a search on Google, and then I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and I ran across two. One was a finger method, one was a fork method. The fork was like poke you in the eye. But the finger method that I found from this one lady, which makes sure it's all turned correctly, it worked for me. And so I was able to, in a short matter of time, get about a dozen bows ready. Um, so that was good. I'm tired today, Mary. It was a long weekend. Yesterday was a long day. Um, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Um, but I love y'all, and y'all have been, really good friends, and some of you adopted family. Um, and I appreciate your patience. I mean, you haven't bailed from my channel when I've been slow at getting around to building it better, doing my tutorials. I've got the butterfly. I don't know if I showed you guys. I've got to do a tutorial on one of these, but I haven't even had a chance to put one together. But I found Michelle helped me find the butterfly, and my sister got the templates for me, so we can do a butterfly yo-yo. I was doing a heart yo-yo tutorial, and it needed to be redone. But these butterflies are just darling. And I know I had this one's the small, and I didn't imagine the template for the large would be so big. But I do know that um Debbie was like, "Butterfly, butterfly." Well, I told her I wasn't sure if I could find the butterfly because I had to get the hearts off of eBay. And then Michelle found the butterflies, and my sister says, "Oh, I'll get those." So, now I can make butterflies. But I had this thought, yes, coup in the last couple of days. I make these little squares that 2-inch squares that have a cross in them. And you can do them hourglass or 4-patch, and they're just 2-inch squares, and you can stick them in your pocket. And I have some fabric. When I started making them, I was trying to think of what to put on the back, and I realized I had fabric from Hobby Lobby that had, you know, um, scriptures or like a cross with a heart in it or a hand with heart. And I could fussy cut that. It was the perfect size for the back. Well, I was thinking yesterday, what if I made some of those baby yo-yo hearts and stuffed it in there instead of a cross, and that way you could have a hug in your pocket. Okay. Maybe that one will be a dun 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 and not take off. But um, thank you, June. Yeah, I just was being stubborn, thinking I could figure it out, and I got stumped. I didn't put my heart back in here. I got stumped, and I was and I kept watching the show. When there is a good tutorial on the angels on shabby fabrics, which is where I got the pattern because I wanted to support them. And she says, my mother was a bow maker, not me, and I just did this to make the bow, and I zoomed in and I slowed down, and I thought I could figure it out, and then all of a sudden I had that light bulb. Thank you, June, but all of a sudden I had that light. Why am I fighting with this? There's got to be a bunch of tutorials or posts or something about ways to tie a bow. I knew a friend of mine, fingers and forks. Well, I thought, that for me, that's the thing too, is I will look at several videos until there's one that clicks in my brain that's explained well or my language or whatever. It's why it's very good to have a lot of variety. And sometimes I take tips from one and blend it with another. But I tried the fork and I just wanted to fork the fork across the room because it just didn't really look even. But there was this lady out of England and she took two fingers. And what caught my eye was it was the only tutorial that said, that showed bows and said, well, when you tie it, use this method and this method, you end up with one. If you have a pattern on it, or one side shiny and the other side's dull, you end up with one leg flipped over or the middle flipped over. And she said she had figured out how to do it so you could get everything facing the right direction by doing just one added thing. I don't know why my microphone's cutting in and out. I really need a new iPad. I was ready to get one, and I missed it by a month because they were prepping to bring the new ones out, and I haven't been able to. I really want. God's just gotta do a miracle there because I really need to get a new um iPad because it's the iPad. I mean, that's the only thing I can figure is mine. I got this as a gift in 2018. Um, and it doesn't hold a charge where. And the best thing I know to do is use my AirPod, and I think it's the connection between the phone and the tablet. And I've really used the tablet, but yeah, working on this here. I need. I do have a desk microphone. I have a Blue Yeti that I got like three years ago, thinking maybe I'd do a blog or something like that. Um, but it sits on the desk, and that's another thing in my workspace. So, um, working on this and figuring it out. And I'm sorry, Mary, that I'm having problems with my microphone. Um, and I think it's the connection. I think it's the fact that this iPad really needs to be replaced, and the one I want is just it's harder to find where I can make payments on it. Apple's right now got a lock on it. Because I need the bigger memory. Because I'm an amateur photographer and I write, so I need something with a good amount of memory in it. So I'm praying that God brings that along because that would be really helpful. Because it seems like the connection to my AirPod, which works kind of well, um, doesn't always stay, and the battery just goes um, really quickly. but it is 7 years old, and like I said, I've used it a ton. So, um, well, I've been on an hour. I'm gonna need to go out in about an hour to pick up my bounty of polyfill. Tip says you're gonna go get polyfill. This guy's got a 5 pound box. He's got a 20-ounce plus bag, and it's premium. It's premium polyfill. It's not just regular. Plus another bit, plus a couple other kinds of batting, and he wants $7 for it. And I contacted him on Saturday because he dropped the price. And I said, "Well, do you still have this?" "Yes." Well, I was supposed to go yesterday, but yesterday just didn't happen. So he said, "Well, I can do it." He or she said, "I can do it tomorrow." Um, and they said the morning works best. And I said, "Well, let me knock it out early so I can get home and maybe give these angels a body." But I didn't want to come up. Um, Joe, I hope you have a great day too. Um, I hope you just enjoyed it. It was a little bit more meandering than puttering this morning, but that happens too. I'd hoped to. I got up. I've been up since for quite a while this morning, and I went to turn my machine on, and it wasn't turning on, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, Phoenix, what's going on?" Then I thought, "Oh wait a minute, the dog knocked a bunch of things down over there. I wonder when I was picking everything up a couple nights ago." I mean, they knocked over a big stack of fabric like this, and and I thought, I wonder if the plug came loose, and that's exactly what it was. Um, so, um, and so I thought, well, before I get too far into the day, let's say hello. Thank you for those that have come on. Thank you for the thumbs up. Um, I think I'm just gonna start coming on and doing lives more often, even if I don't have my tutorials out, because I like touch bases with y'all, and maybe at some point I can figure out how to have people up kind of on the panel, um, because I think that'd be real fun. Um, but I appreciate those that come in, um, and I appreciate those that have remained loyal, even though I haven't like produced. I think I've skipped the last week, or I haven't gotten my crap together yet. It means a lot to me because sometimes people get real impatient with you. But most of you people have just stuck, and it's like, "Oh, she's there. When she pops up, she pop up. She'll get it." So I'm really blessed and grateful for the good people that I have in my life. You take care, Patricia. All y'all have a blessed day. But thank you, Joseph, for popping in, and June and Mary and Auntie Patricia and Nanny and Nancy. It was really good to see you. Debbie, I hope you have a good doctor's appointment if you haven't already left. It was good for Cheryl to pop in, and Kathy. I appreciated Kathy popping in. Um, and I hope y'all have a good and a blessed day. And just know that I love and appreciate each of you. You guys take care. Uh, Yeah, June, thank you. That kind of got sidetracked between a neurological meltdown with my sister and a part for the well and and a foot doctor's appointment yesterday. So, Debbie, don't make me get out the golden gloves and come get you. Um, you know I love you, sis. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I will talk to you soon. I may pop on later. You never know. Um, but I loves and appreciates each of you. You have a blessed day. Now I got button. Where's the button? There it is. And you get to see my old hand. I'm having my big O birthday in 12 days. Big O. Bye.